Hi, my name is Caitlin Horner. I'm in Group H with Melissa Cook and Johnny Griggs, and we are presenting our analysis of the Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated.
My name is Johnny Griggs, and to start this case analysis for Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated, I will now present the background information of the company.
Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated was first founded in 1902 by J.B. Harrison in the Greensboro, North Carolina area. He originally got the rights to sell Coca-Cola in a bottle for $1. As time went along, he acquisitioned more and more bottling companies when he started to actually bottle more than just Coca-Cola. Most recently, they've undergone a large acquisition, raising their teammates/employees basically over 16K and a consumer base of over 65 million. And they've been really sticking close with the Coca-Cola marketing, I guess you would say, in the Atlanta area and other bottlers. Coca-Cola Bottling Co. Consolidated uses a broad low-cost strategy. Though they have many different product offerings of all the Coca-Cola brands, of soft drinks, teas, juices, water, and etc., they have a very limited profit margin because they don't make much on each individual sale. So they require a lot of volume to make up for that issue. And it seems like Coke is starting to become more price elastic in the past few years.
The four driving forces we've identified for the beverage bottling industry are political factors, such as the recent tariffs that have been placed on imported aluminum that have caused prices to increase, social factors, which is increased consumer awareness of health and environmental concerns associated with different beverages, technology factors, which have led to more efficient machinery for manufacturing and recycling, and environmental factors, such as the new Clean Water Act and resource conservation regulations that have led to predominant effect on the industry.
To be successful in this industry, our key success factors are highly efficient distribution networks with a wide range of exposure. Increased response to consumers' concerns are needed to market efficiently. Resource management technology helps manage the materials and the transportation costs that are rising, and product differentiation because switching costs are low and there are many substitutes available.
Now it's time to talk about the SWOT analysis.
Let's start with strengths. Their first strength is their large, highly trained workforce. Their next strength is their efficient supply chain management. Their next strength is their experience with acquisitions and mergers. They've been doing this since the beginning of the company by acquisitioning other companies and bringing in with them. Their next strength is their advanced corporate social responsibility with strong corporate culture. Their last strength is their diverse amount of beverages. They bottle everything from their soft drinks, teas, juices, energy drinks, waters, coffees, etc. Now let's move on to weaknesses. Their first weakness is a long wait time in changing new factory culture. Personally, that's too long of a time to adjust to a new corporate structure. The second weakness is they're struggling with the two process technologies, and it seems like they could do this a lot easier or faster. Their next weakness is a lack of advertisement on sugar-free products and other offerings. Next weakness is the risk in bottling primarily for Coca-Cola. Their last weakness is problem with filling job positions. Let's go on to opportunities. Their first opportunity could be outsourced or partner with hiring firms to fill positions. The next opportunity is offer more seasonal products to increase sales and excitement. The next opportunity they could do is advertise their sugar-free products. Their next opportunity would be specialized in factories that only produce certain products for a smaller distribution area. Their last opportunity they could do is research more environmentally friendly materials. Now let's move on to threats. Their first threat is the change in political climate with new tariffs on the tax laws. Tariffs, though, it's starting to hurt them because, as you see in our next threat, increasing cost of goods sold, the new tariffs are affecting their cost of goods sold. So they have to deal with that issue. Their third threat is their unionization caused in some of the new territories. Now to move on to the fourth threat, which is public opinion on health alternatives and environmental awareness. Their last threat is just the high strength of competition.
I'm going to tell you about the analysis of financials. The main thing I look for in financials is the consistency and volatility of the numbers. So gross profit margin seems fairly consistent throughout the years, 40%, which is a fairly decent cost for materials. However, the jump down between gross profit and operating profit causes a lot of concern, staying around the 4, even down to the 2%, which is a little volatile. especially when you consider that the industry of non-alcoholic beverages has an average of 16 to 18% operating margin. Net profit margin is very slim, like they warned us, only 1 to 2%, and the 2% is probably only because of the new tax cuts this past year. ROA is okay at 2. It's staying fairly consistent, which is the only thing that's benefited. The ROE looks very good at 14 to 24, but it's very volatile, which is why the debt ratio is a good reason to look at it, because with higher debt, the ROE can be artificially inflated, which I believe is what happened here. Our strategic concerns for Coca-Cola bottling is their inability to get the right people in the right job and their high experience of high employee turnover, especially from their new acquired territories. The increasing material and operation costs, either because of the new tariffs, reduced recycling, and the increased trucking costs in America today. Their negative view of environmental and health effects of products. Because consumers have a lot of strength in this industry, they need to address these issues publicly and loudly. Their lack of control at each new location. They have a limited amount of training and guiding support for these roles that needs to be taken care of so their culture can come back on track faster. And their mismanagement of their SKU proliferation, with having over 1,000 SKUs and their factories being fairly inefficient at this point. Our first recommendation is going to address the second and third concerns of rising material costs and raising awareness about environmental causes. We call it local recycling partnerships. We think that Coca-Cola bottling should partner with the local material recycling facilities, and it will help boost local economy plus help Coca-Cola with getting their products. And this is also a solution for how people can come to understand why prices are raising. So it will have 2 parts. First, we're going to do an advertisement about recycling and how all of their products are actually recyclable as is. As well, this is going to go mostly on social media and YouTube. We were thinking a shorter video would cost less, obviously, but it would also bring out Coca-Cola in places that it's not already. So the advertisement would have a picture of the CEO and explaining to the people, prices are going to rise, this is going to happen, but they're going to also mention the second part of our suggestion, which is that 0.05% of the price increase is going to go towards these local recycling partnerships, giving people a reason why prices are increasing beyond just it's how the economy is working with the tariffs and everything, giving them something different about Coca-Cola. We'll be able to look at Pepsi and Coca-Cola sitting directly beside each other, or Aquafina and Dasani, and there's something different about that Coke product. It's not just the exact same water. Now it has this extra recycling boost, which goes directly towards the local economy, and it's about improving your community, who you're involved with, and this is a very mutually beneficial deal because, yes, Coca-Cola will actually have a guaranteed supplier of their material. They want to show that they're doing right by everybody involved. And this will be doing right by the local recycling facilities because it's been said that they are struggling with the new political scheme and what's been going on internationally. So having this guaranteed huge buyer there will allow them to innovate and allow them to hire more people to do more in their communities as well. The second recommendation addresses the fifth concern of SKU proliferation and how Coca-Cola bottling can actually manage this within their facilities. So this is a multiple option suggestion, but really it resonates around that the factories need to become more efficient and they need to find a place to do more research and development to find the more efficient option, which we think would be best placed in their smaller factories because they are already not providing a huge amount in their local areas, and so they can afford to lose some efficiency by the trial and error, but eventually and ultimately it will gain a lot of efficiency and the proper treatment of how to handle the thousands of SKUs that Coca-Cola bottling has recently acquired. So the first option we looked into is called clean in place technology. This is a technology that will basically allow the lines to be cleaned in place, or rather it doesn't have to be taken apart to be cleaned. And another benefit we found with this technology was that it has the ability to shut down one line, have it being cleaned while all the other lines are still operating, to where there's more efficiency in the factory itself, and it will maintain operations while part of it is cleaning. It shortens the downtime that you had to take for all of it, and there will be more product at the end of the day. The second option we looked at was setting basic flavor lines that go throughout the factory. So when you look at a lot of the products, there are similar flavors such as vanilla, grape, orange, cherry that go into a lot of different offerings, from the carbonated to the water to the sports drinks to everything. But these flavors are still in common. So what we thought is that if you set this basic line, then that will always have vanilla going through it. Then you can use that in all of your products that require the vanilla flavoring. And it will allow you to more efficiently use your space. And at the end of the day, you won't be cleaning out that vanilla line after every single use. You just need to clean it once that day, maybe twice, depending on health FDA laws at that point. And that will save a lot of time and save money eventually because of getting that higher efficiency in the factory. Now our third option is changing the entire factory layout so you can use more common space. Kind of like I already mentioned, there's a lot of similar and shared ingredients among all of these offerings. So why can't we have a start point that is the water that goes into everything? And then you have little shoot-offs at every place that, okay, all the caramel colored goes this way, all the water goes this way, and then leading into the carbonation, and then eventually leading into the specific syrup. And the goal is by the time it gets to the syrup, it is so specific that it will only need to have a short line for a short time, and then it's onto carbonation and out the door and onto packaging. Then all of a sudden, the whole line only needs to be cleaned at that one point where the syrup was. And since that syrup line is so much smaller than it used to be, it doesn't have to be cleaned out for as long. So it saves on the time that you would spend on cleaning it. So you can clean it more if that need be. And I think these different options just create a low cost and low risk way for Coca-Cola bottling to research and develop themselves.
Our first suggestion is a training, recruitment, and retaining program, and we call this the Culture of Coke. Focusing first on the training aspect, and we want to identify the 3 C's of success, which are compliance, consistency, and cooperation. We feel that these 3 factors are a major component to having a successful organization. Compliance being the conformity and fulfilling official requirements. So that's really to establish what is expected of each person, department, and facility moving forward. Consistency is ensuring that these expectations are met on a continuous basis. And cooperation is aligning the company's directives with the motivations of the employees. And to do all 3 of these, we figured to implement the program, the company representatives will assess and outline plans of actions for each location. They'll set quotas and goals and utilize performance bonuses and incentives to help align the employees and the company's directives. We would elect team leaders in each location to continue the standards program to ensure that the standards are being held. And then we will also initiate monthly meetings between management and staff. And these meetings will allow management to address any issues that they are seeing in the performance, and then allow the staff to address any suggestions or have any concerns that they see And then we'll also have semi-annual meetings between the corporate and the location management and trainers. We did want to ensure that these meetings and the communication between the staff and the management aren't used as necessarily as griping sessions, but as working sessions to collaborate and to come together as a group, and not to single out any individuals, to actually work together to achieve the goals that are necessary to maintain their progress. In the recruiting aspect, we wanted to pair with local unemployment agencies to match job seekers with open positions, partner with colleges as well, aligning students with part-time work that could possibly lead to an advancement upon graduation. And then work with temp agencies as well to fill open positions with the possibility of full-time employment. And with all these different avenues, we should not have any issue finding the right people for the job. And the last part of our plan is, now that we have the training and we have the people, we want to keep the people. So our thoughts here are to partner with local YMCA and YWCAs and daycare centers to provide quality daycares at a discount or possibly free of charge for employees. This way the employee can come to work and not have to worry about how they're going to handle their children. Sponsor teams for employees to participate in outside of work, like bowling teams or pool, softball, that kind of thing, and that would encourage, camaraderie, and also to help have a sense of belonging. We also wanted to sponsor regular community activities for employees and the community members as well, for events such as like movie nights, barbecues, potluck dinners, to bring the community and the employees together to make themselves feel more together, more united. And then we'd also want monthly programs providing workshops for employees, varying from business skills, different technology needs, possibly different skills trainings, and even just hobby trainings as well. Just something to kind of get people learning and growing as well. And also provide tuition assistance on a basis of grant, depending on how many hours worked versus how many hours you can have the assistance or the reimbursement. And all of these things together would foster a better relationship between the company and the community and the employee all working together, and it would give the employee a sense of well-being and give the company a good image. And we feel that this would eliminate the problems of the culture inside of the Coke industry, inside of the Coke bottling company, and then also help fill the positions and retain the employees that they need to be successful.